concept closely involved with worldview is locus of control and locus of responsibility. First, some background information. This is a concept that emerged first actually in the field of social or personality psychology. It literally refers to understanding who or what has control and who or what has responsibility in our life or specific situations. Locus of control and locus of responsibility can be broken down further into two dimensions, internal and external. Individuals who tend to embrace the internal dimension tend to believe that control and responsibility rest completely within themselves. So, for example, someone with a high internal sense of control or responsibility who took a test and did not do well would likely attribute that to not being prepared, not studying, versus viewing it as an unfair test. Individuals with a high external sense of control are more likely to see factors of control and responsibility as outside themselves, or they might view it as chance or luck. In addition, they may have a high sense of a feeling of powerlessness in their own lives. These concepts were adapted to the field of cross-cultural psychology and recovery services during the initial boom of multicultural research. It was presented as being very valuable in understanding the different perspectives clients may have regarding control and responsibility in one's life, when taking into consideration experiences of discrimination and lack of power or social influence. In a sense, helping us understand how social issues can impact how one feels in regards to a sense of control and influence in one's life. The two concepts and dimensions of internal and external factors are combined to actually create 4 possible styles. While knowing the styles can be helpful guide in gaining insight into a client's perception of themselves and their event and respecting our clients, it's also important to avoid boxing clients into just one style. This is because a perception of locus of control and locus of responsibility can change based on the situation or change across one's life. Knowing that, let's take a closer look at the 4 styles. We have what's called ICIR combination, internal and internal, ECIR, ECER, and ICER. Let's take a closer look at each of these styles and what they represent. The first, ICIR, internal locus of control, internal locus of responsibility, is generally associated with people who feel that they're the quote-unquote masters of their own fate. There is a sense that they are responsible for their actions and life outcomes and often believe in individualism and a sense that one can pull themselves up by the bootstrap. This style has become mostly associated with a Western perspective promoting individual success and having the means and ability to overcome any circumstances. The next, ECIR, reflects those who have a tendency of believing the philosophy that everyone controls their own destiny without actually acknowledging or understanding the impact of discrimination and racism on their own life. As a result, during experiences of discrimination or struggle, a person in this style are more likely to internalize that they did something wrong and just need to quote-unquote try harder. Often, an example of this style is a person from a diverse group who has been mistreated and marginalized in some way, for example at work. Often the response is, okay, I'm going to try and work harder to fit in, I'm going to work overtime, believing that they are responsible for the mistreatment that they are experiencing. The next, ECER, external locus of control, external locus of responsibility, here a person does recognize issues of social inequality, but often feels powerless or unable to affect that change or to make a change. Here, a person is aware of and acknowledges multiple obstacles and experiences of mistreatment, but has the perception that nothing is going to change or I've just given up. Often, individuals in this style tend to suffer in silence and fear. The final is ICER. People with this style again recognize issues of discrimination and unfair treatment and believe that these barriers are the responsibility of society and social injustice. They do not internalize that discrimination. So again, they do not internalize the social injustice, but they focus more on what they can control in their own life and what they can do to make a positive change for themselves and others in their community. This style has a high relationship with a sense of cultural pride, connecting with others who support and encourage them, and also being a political activist to address social injustice. You'll have a chance to practice applying these concepts in 4 styles in the next assignment.